Hi everybody, it's Patrick. So we're going into entertaining season, which quite frankly, I think all seasons should be entertaining season, right? But this, this is the biggie. I thought I would show you a couple of tricks to kind of make having people over for dinner or whatever just that much easier. The first one is ironing the tablecloth, because you clearly want an ironed tablecloth. People will think you don't know what you're doing. And it's really, sometimes people make it really complicated. Like, I remember Granny used to lay a sheet out, so that the tablecloth wouldn't get dirty. And I guess that's a good trick, but I think there's a much simpler way to do it. And your tablecloth is probably white, which mine is too, but I thought it'd be easier to see if we had one that wasn't. So the trick to this is I have folded this in half. If you see this is the two sides of it, and I've folded it in half. And what you do is the first thing you do is you spray the whole cloth with starch, both sides. So you spray we're gonna call this the front. It's the side that we see. And I've actually already done this. I'm just kind of giving you a little. And then we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna do the other side. And the reason we're doing this is, have you ever had starch? This is actually a great trick for any time you iron. Have you ever had starch, like you use it and like it kind of flakes and you get that flaky mess all over your freshly washed shirt or tablecloth, I guess in this case? That's because the starch didn't have time to settle in. So this way, we're doing this, we're letting it rest a few seconds, and the starch is gonna go into the fabric. It's gonna sink down into the fabric, and so when you iron, you're not gonna get those little crunchy bits. The second thing we're gonna do is we're gonna leave it folded in half, and we're gonna iron it folded in half. And the only thing we're gonna do is we're gonna leave about 4 inches right at the fold that we don't iron. So we're just gonna iron the tablecloth. And what's happening is we're ironing both sides because tablecloths are pretty thin. I mean, this one's a little bit thicker than like your white, Sunday dinner tablecloth, but it's kind of the same principle. So we're gonna iron both sides. And if you don't have a steam generating iron, which I'm assuming a lot of you don't, just mist it with some water, because what's really making this process work is all the steam. So just take your spray bottle and just, mist the top right before you iron it. And then here's what we've done. We've done half of this. I don't know if you've noticed, but we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna do the other half. So we're gonna do here, and then, like this. And this, what this is doing is it's keeping the whole tablecloth up off the floor. So we've ironed it. Truth be told, I would go over it a little more, but I ironed it before we did this. So then all we have to do is take the tablecloth, and remember it's folded in half, and do this. Go to the end, and open it, and pull the seam right across the ironing board. And you can see it. You may not be able to see it, but there is a fold line right here. And then we're just gonna iron the fold line out. Now the whole tablecloth is ironed. It's ready to throw on the table. I will tell you, if you can make it work, as soon as you're done ironing it, carry it to the table and toss it on. So do this the day before, 2 days before, whatever. It's great to do before you start cooking, because then you'll have that out of the way. But since we're talking dinner parties, I thought I'd tell you some other tips. First tip, stash some extra dish towels, and some extra spoons. I don't have spoons, but some extra serving spoons. Stash those somewhere in the dining room near where somebody's gonna be seated, and tell them where it is. That way, if Uncle Henry spills, I don't know, gravy, whatever, spills it on the table, everybody doesn't grab their napkin and throw it at the stain, because chances are, unless you're somebody who has 100 napkins, you don't have extra napkins for everybody at the table, but you have tons of dishcloths. So if you keep them ready, if there's a stain, you can just grab the dishcloth and throw it on the stain and go on with dinner. The second thing is the same with spoons, because inevitably the spoon in the sweet potatoes is going to fall on the floor, and you don't want to have to get up and go in the kitchen and wash it or get another one. So just keep 2 or 3, in a basket or in a drawer or something, have those ready. The next thing to have ready is some Amedex, because people are going to come to your dinner and they're maybe going to another one, and they're going to get gravy on them. They're going to get, I don't know, who knows what on them, right? Gravy or wine or something. You can just dab a little Amedex on, spot it in, and they can rinse it in the bathroom and go on to their next party. So that. The other thing I want to tell you about the tablecloth and the napkins, when dinner's over, this thing is going to be covered with spots. It's going to have wine and gravy and mashed potatoes and who knows what. And normally you would spot treat every one of those before you washed it, but I'm going to tell you something that'll save you a ton of time. Grab the tablecloth and the napkins, throw them in the washer on your warm express cycle, and put in a couple of tablespoons of oxygen bleach, like 2 tablespoons of oxygen bleach and your soap, and wash it. It's going to take out 90% of these stains. Don't even worry about pre-treating. Just throw these in, wash it. Throw it across the drying rack and let it dry. Do not put it in the dryer. Let it dry, and then you can look at the stains and you can see what's left. And then you can spot treat. Because if it does the work of 80% of the stains, and all you have left is that stain where, Aunt Dorothy spilled cranberries and then smushed mashed potatoes into it. I don't know your house, but you have that, then you can treat it. Just grab, soap and a brush. I'm going to tell you a kind of a funny little trick that I just learned. If you use totally natural dish detergent, this happens to be Levant, you cannot do this with the stain fighter or the grease buster, because it's too harsh. If you use a totally natural dish soap, you can use that to spot treat. So put a couple of drops of that on. In fact, I think we're giving away Levant samples. If you're watching this and it's soon after it came out and you place an order or you come in the store, we have some Levant samples, we'll give you one. You can just try it. But anyway, you can spot treat with that. So treat with that and then rewash it and you'll be good to go. Because really the most important thing is when you're having a dinner party is to have fun. When everybody gets together and you're celebrating and you're having a good time, it's not the time to worry about the tablecloth. You and I, we can figure out the tablecloth later. We can figure out the napkins, whatever it is. It's easy, have fun. My final tip, I guess, which shameless plug, is putting together a couple of dish towels, some Amedex, some oxygen bleach, whatever would be a great hostess gift. Because chances are everybody has enough candles and they've already got a flower centerpiece, so they don't need yours. So you could put that together as a really fun hostess gift, but wasn't the point. The point was to show you how to do this so you can have a really good time, because what matters most is that laundry's fun, everything's fun, and you have fun. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a really great week. If you're watching this right before a party, have so much fun. And for heaven's sakes, have an extra piece of pie because it's a party. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.